We are going to learn everything there is to know about Excel from Jeff, the Excel man, Jeff Lenning. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, thanks, man. Great to be here.
All right, so we don't really know each other. I'm excited about this because your business and what you do is make a more efficient business by really people using Excel, which is an unbelievably hard to understand, not only concept, but software. And if it can somehow make businesses more efficient, I'm sure they love you, right?
Exactly. And so the whole thing stems from being more efficient, which saves time. I mean, of course, for me, time is my most valuable resource. So I figured out over the years how to get Excel, get my workbooks totally dialed in. So what I do now is I just show other people what I did. And so I can help them kind of level up more quickly than I did. It took me decades to figure it out. And so I, fast track this for people.
All right, I like that. I'm going to ask some hard questions because I'm a little skeptical about a couple of things with Excel. So I'm going to ask you some hard questions. So first, why you? Tell us your background, and so why people can understand why you're the Excel man.
Yeah, sure. So basically, long story short is it's been my experience that people do it like last year. So I teach a lot of accounting and CPAs and finance folks. And so we're just in this process of doing it like last year. And so for some things, that's great. But when it comes to Excel, it's not necessarily the best thing because when we're under deadline or under this time pressure, we just want to get it done. So we just do it like last year. And we're not as worried about how do we do it. And so when we can actually focus on improving our workbooks, then it's going to save a lot of time. And that's what happened to me, taking a monthly close from 2 weeks to 2 days just with Excel.
So do you also work in Google? We're a Google ecosystem for the most part. Do you also work with Google Sheets?
I love Google Sheets. I use it every day. And so basically the good news is a lot of the things that are in Excel are also in Google Sheets. So the knowledge transfers over pretty well. Of course, each have their own things that are unique, but a lot of the functions are working the same.
Got it. All right. So let's remind you and the audience who they are. So our audience, we have about 12,000 people in our database, all solopreneurs, usually real estate investors. Some of them have operating companies. Some of them don't. Some of them just use, an entity for real estate. Some are doctors. Some are lawyers. We're kind of merging with a law firm. They have 4,000 people. So we have about 16,000 people who will be getting this. I'm sure there's more that I don't know about who are not in our database. So that's our marketplace. So when you're talking to our people, please think of them as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, smaller, operating businesses. And that sounds like that's your market. So why should we use Excel when there's chat and, all the other AI models that are out there that to a certain extent can take the place of Excel or Sheets?
So basically, everything ends up in Excel, it seems like, for all of the investment analysis, all the monthly closes, all the reports. When the systems can generate those reports, like let's just simplify it. When QuickBooks can create the report that you need, awesome, we'll use QuickBooks. But oftentimes it doesn't get the report exactly what you need, or data is coming from 2 different systems or multiple systems. And so for that, we export to Excel. And then once it gets into Excel, how do we create the report, the analysis, that we need as quickly as possible?
So then, and by the way, do you have a software that, what's your engagement? What's a typical engagement with you? I'll stop there because there's a bunch of questions I can ask after that.
Yeah, cool. So I can talk about the business, the way I operate it in terms of efficiency, because I'm all about efficiency. So I run my business as efficiently as possible. But in terms of the engagement for the courses, it's basically on-demand, self-paced courses in a progression, any skill level, with accompanying live office hours, live study halls for support.
Got it. So it's like a community. You do it as a community?
Correct.
Smart. By the way, what software do you use?
Oh, the LMS that I use to deliver the courses is based on Moodle. It's been bought a couple of times, so it's a hosted Moodle operation, and it's called Open LMS.
Okay. Okay, I understand. By the way, how many students do you have? Or if that's what you call them, students, I don't know what you call them, but how many do you have? Just wondering.
LMS has like 12,000 students.
Well, no, you specifically have 12,000?
Yeah. Those are the students in my LMS. Yeah.
You have 12,000. Dude, you're the man. Are you serious? Holy mackerel! Wow, that's a
Well, it's
lot.
crazy that yeah, it's crazy we have the technology because my students are, of course, mostly U.S., but all around the world, and so it's an insane student map when you see it, in person. It's like I'm helping everywhere, all over. So I'm grateful for the tech that helps me do that.
Yeah. So you don't have a software package that like a client could utilize their students learning from the community.
Correct. I teach them
Mm.
how they can, without any add-ins or plugins, how to leverage the power of Excel.
Excel.
Yes.
I got it. I got it. Well, what happens if, like me, I'm way too lazy for that. I have a staff, but what happens if I just want you to do it? Would you do it or no?
No, no, I don't do any like consulting kind of projects, but I have a list of independent consultants that I
Yeah.
refer people to when they need that, because we get that question a lot. But I'm much more about teach a man how to fish kind of a
Mm.
concept.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just way too lazy for that. I get it. Yeah, no, dude, you're the man. I'm proud of you. That's pretty cool. All right, a couple more questions then. How does one get a hold of you? Because again, these, as a reminder, these are all solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, and some might want to be a part of your community or reach out to some of your independent contractors for some added value help.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way is exceluniversity.com/tips, EXCEL with the dash, university.com/tips. And there is a great way to opt into my weekly Excel tips newsletter. Plus, there's a free class in case people want to check that out. And then if they subscribe, they can not only get the tips, but just kind of see how I nurture, potential students and what that whole kind of journey for them looks like.
Mm. All right, how'd you get started in that? Because you got to be a brain even to operate Excel, just to do the A column and the B column, the E. How'd you get started in that?
Yeah, that's a funny question. So yes, I have been called nerd for
Mm.
for the entirety of my life. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I was trying
that's
not
me.
to say that, but yeah, yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, junior high school, after school computer programming class. So yeah, of course I've heard all the geeky kind of things. But long story short, I started working Excel like high school, junior high, that type of a thing when it pretty much first came out. Built like stock analysis analyzers during high school and all this kind of crazy stuff. In any event, when I got into industry, and started being in accounting and finance, that's when really my skills developed, and it was really able to help me save just a lot of time. And so that's when I said, hey, I need to be teaching people how to do this, because this is not just Microsoft Word with tables. This is a deep platform here in Microsoft Excel.
Hmm. All right. So your markets. So I also run a group of 10,000 tax professionals. Right. I run it. So speak to them now. How can they be advantaged by using your community in their practice? Most of them are probably CPAs, some bookkeepers, right? So speak
Yeah.
to them now, because there will be some of those people who will hear this and see this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say this: if you're a CPA and you're using Excel, not just once a month, but like weekly or even daily, my classes qualify for CPE credit. So we're a
Hmm.
NASBA certified CPE sponsor. You got to get 40 hours anyway. So instead of just
Mhm.
passively watching webinars, clicking attendance checks, you're going to invest the time into this program, which is going to actually make a big impact in your day-to-day operations, because it'll help you get the work you're doing done faster.
So wait, a minute. So if they join your community, they get CE for each one, is it? Or for specific ones, specific lessons, if you will?
Yeah, so the CPE is offered for all of the on-demand lessons. So there's like
Hmm.
quizzes, all the NASBA required, standards are met. For my live office hours, which is where people can go on a live group Zoom call, and then I can answer any Excel questions, any questions about their workbooks. They can share their screen and get my advice on specific projects. Those office hours aren't for CPE credit, but all the on-demand lessons
Got it.
are. So it's like 124 CPE credits available.
Hmm. So wait a minute, I'm a little confused. How did a nerd guy, sorry, how did a nerd guy get such a big community? How long have you been doing that?
Yeah, so I've been doing this for like 10 years.
Hmm.
I was recently, or not recently, but I was somewhat recently awarded the MVP award from Microsoft, and that's in recognition for my contributions to the community. So what's really cool
Oh.
is every year we get to go out to the Microsoft headquarters and go to the MVP summit, and I get to see all my Excel nerd friends in person, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you seem kind of normal for a nerd. It's kind of weird. Um, all right, help me to understand a little bit more about Excel or whatever, Sheets or whatever. So, me as a business owner, what are some of the advantages of automation within, Excel as an example for macros, et cetera?
Yeah, for sure. So it's kind of like if we break apart Excel projects into like two kinds of projects, one-time use and recurring. It's the recurring projects where I can really help people the most. So like if you're just building a project for one analysis and you will literally never open it up or update it again, I can save you a little time because I'll show you the right functions to use, but you're not going to get the leverage that that you will when these projects are recurring. So think monthly
Yeah.
close, quarterly financial planning, annual budgeting, those kinds of recurring processes. Those are the ones that I can help you get dialed in, because instead of rebuilding them all the time and manually updating them, manually deleting columns, manually rewriting formulas,
Yeah.
manually having all these different formulas that just are totally disorganized and like ad hoc band-aids, I show you a formal process for structuring these workbooks and automating them. So you just click refresh and we're done.
That's how it should be. But wait a minute, how do you do that? You don't have time, dude. You have 12,000 people in your community. I'm sure thousands of people show up. How do you have time to, let's say me, let's say I join. Let's say I decide to join and I have questions. There's no way you're going to answer my specific question when you have so many thousands of people in that group.
I answer every question to people who attend office hours, 100% for sure. So the way that I leverage it, though, because I'm all about efficiency, is I started teaching in person for CPA societies and the AICPA and other CPE providers. And so these classes are live. No, not are. These were live 8-hour CPEs all over the country. So this is when like CPAs would go to a place, sit in front of an instructor for 8 hours in a day to get 8 CPE credits. Okay, so I've done hundreds of these. And what I discovered is I'm just saying the same thing over and over and over again. So then I got smart and then I wrote some books and I pre-recorded all my lesson videos.
Yeah.
And that helped me really think about the exact right order to like structure the class in, and the right order for rolling out which features and functions. So it's like not confusing. And so then I pre-recorded all those. So when you sign up, then you get access to all the pre-recorded on-demand content. So you can go through like as fast as you want or like as slow as you want. So I kind of meet you wherever you are. And so that's kind of how I am able to help so many people with a time efficient, system.
Have you used AI to kind of make that more efficient? Go back and whatever, make a summary of all those videos and then categorize them and index them, et cetera? Or have you not done that yet?
Yep. So we've used AI for a lot of our internal processes. I recently installed like this test of a ChatGPT integration with our LMS so that people can search for. So it's more like a reference instead of teaching. So it's like, let's say I get through the classes, but I have access for reference. Then I'm like, hey, I want to build an amortization schedule. Where's that lesson? And so I'm currently evaluating a plugin that integrates with ChatGPT. So it kind of scans all the lessons and narratives and book chapters and then provides the way that I would do it. Not just because Google search will give you ways that 10 different experts would recommend,
Right.
but I have specific ways. And so this integration will help them get an answer for like, how would Jeff build this type of workbook?
I'm jumping all over the place. Do you have any interface? You probably don't. You don't work with a software group that does integration with Excel or Sheets underneath it, do you? Let me explain. Let me explain that, of course. So I think a lot of people have problems with the interface of Excel, and they don't want to learn it per se, but they want to do the interface. So this is a weird question, but do you have a strategic alliance with a group that does that can act as the interface with Excel underneath it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I have a list of consultants that I would refer people to. Internally, what we do, we use Zapier a ton, and that integrates all of our systems. So like for the LMS, it's OpenLMS. For my email management, that's ActiveCampaign. And Zapier sort of integrates all the other kinds of systems that we use for webcasts and everything else.
Interesting. What's your website, by the way?
Excel-university.com.
University. And that's different than the name of the company, Wait a minute. And under what name did you write your books? Jeff Lenning, right?
Jeff Lenning, yes, and Excel University is the kind of the title, volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that out. And you're doing so. You have totally different question. Again, I'm jumping all over the place. People are going to be like, "What are you doing, Kenner?" You have a drip campaign using Active Campaign. And how do you integrate Excel with that? So we could see if you're really putting your money where your mouth is. So how does that work with Active Campaign?
Yeah. So basically, certain triggers will cause Zapier to update different systems. So for example, if a new student comes to our e-commerce platform and they purchase a class, then that information is taken by Zapier and it's added to OpenLMS, it's added to Active Campaign, it's added to Google Sheets, and it's added to a Microsoft Excel document. And so there's all these different triggers that then trigger all the integrations with all the different things to keep everything up to date and in sync.
Yeah. Why don't you just have a CRM? So, and you don't have a facial CRM interface. You just use Excel, which would be taking the place of a facial interface of a CRM. Yeah, I get how you do, or I think at least I get how you do it. Then the question is, why not? Why not have a CRM interface? That's just not your deal, huh?
Well, so Active Campaign for us is like our CRM because it sort of tracks prospective students through their journey of, getting nurtured and then coming on board with a paid program and supporting them. So I would say Active Campaign really takes the place of a traditional CRM for us.
Yeah, because you don't have to really take notes per se. I bet you don't have any. If you have a sales guy or girl, you have very few because everything's automated through the website, as an example, huh?
Exactly. So I have two VAs that help me with, support and social.
You're smart. Yeah.
But everything else is handled by computers. I mean, from all the way from getting a prospective student into Active Campaign, nurturing them so they can see the value in investing time, really, because the money is not the thing. It's the investing of the time to learn, why that's going to be beneficial. Getting them into the e-commerce system, registering for the class, going through the lessons, issuing the certificate of completion, all of that is totally hands-free. So I've spent a lot of time getting it dialed in to be efficient, just as consistent with me.
I totally get it. All right, so let's figure out, I've already figured out your business in 17 minutes. So you could have been going around teaching people, in what city do you live?
We live in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Okay, you could have been in South Dakota walking around the town teaching people how to make their business successful, making, let's just say $75 an hour. Go meet with a guy here. You should do this for your business. You should do this for your business. But instead, what you've done is you've gone all the way to the other end of the spectrum. You've turned it into a SaaS, and you've turned it into a SaaS that has a community, and you barely have to work, and you're making crazy money as a result versus having to answer to one client at a time, making hardly any money. That's basically correct, right?
That is 100% correct. And I did consulting in the old days, but the problem is there's all these deadlines. I don't have enough time. I'm upset with Jeff. I don't understand this formula, like all of those issues. So I'm like, let me get ahead of the curve here, build these assets, and then sell the assets. And so the assets are access to the program.
Dude, you're smart. And you don't have there's no marketing. You don't teach marketing in your community. I bet you as a byproduct, there are people who teach or who talk about marketing, but more than anything, it really is, efficiency. But then again, I bet you people learn marketing in your group because they see what you've done, and there's other guys who are doing this, or girls who are doing the exact same thing as you're doing, basically.
Yeah, the MVP friends that I have, we a lot of them do consulting, but a lot of them fall into what I do, which is kind of training, community, and that type of thing. So we all have kind of similar businesses. Marketing does not come naturally for me. That's something that I've definitely read a lot of books about and had to educate myself. I'm kind of an introverted nerd, so to come out and be able to communicate my value effectively has been something I've had to kind of learn. But now I feel like it's a good balance between not being too pushy, but giving value and helping people. So that's kind of been working for me at this point.
People should learn your story. That's pretty impressive, Jeff. Basically, again, so if someone's because CPAs are your market, finance people are your market, what they should do is, instead of, working, well, we're in that category too, but instead of working with one-off clients where they're, as you're saying, they're getting mad because you're not doing deadlines or whatever the case is, you're making very little per penny, turn it into a SaaS slash community, teach one to many, you're going to make a heck of a lot more money. Plus, it's a little bit easier to talk to one to many than it is one to one.
Exactly. And a
Yeah,
good book for that is Built to Sell. And it
yeah.
talks about how do you make a service into a product and then sell that. And so that was an eye-opening book and concept.
It's pretty impressive what you've done. I'm pretty impressed. Really
Thank you.
impressed. Wait a minute. And is that how you got that concept? Because Built to Sell, that is more of a, well, that is, I think it's a SaaS solution. And I think a lot of people, like even us. So let me explain. So what we're doing here at vastsolutionsgroup.com, we're basically a tax company and also a commercial property loan origination company for, big properties. So basically what we're doing is we're starting a community as well. We're doing a merger with that law firm, quasi merger with that law firm. So what we're doing is we're coming at it as, well, we're starting a community so we can, teach one to many. I think a lot of people don't do that. Maybe even quote some old school people who don't do that, who need to do it, because you can teach so much more. If people want, then people can use, as a member in the community, they can use the community to get better, to make themselves more efficient, to learn. And they're not having to spend thousands of dollars with one, let's say one consultant per se. They're learning from the community, and they could attach themselves to people in that like community who have similar interests, et cetera, and hopefully even get better as a result. And then who knows, maybe be like you, start communities that hopefully they're going to end up making more money as passive income or recurring income. It's pretty smart what you've got going on.
Yeah, thanks. And the students really do benefit from that community. I have inside of my LMS an area called the Student Union. I've modeled everything after like university, terms. Anyways, so there's a student union, and so it's really fun to see how the students support each other.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm here. How would you recommend I go about solving this? And people are jumping in and really helping each other. And it's nice because they're at the same place, or some people are a little ahead of others, and so they really do support each other. And that's always like super cool and rewarding to see that.
But well, I'll go back to my point. I don't want to spend the time doing that. So I hire a consultant. This is again another naive question. I hire a consultant within your community. Do you make any revenue from that?
No. All of the consultants are totally independent third parties. No commissions. I don't want to be involved in that like whatsoever. Because here's the thing. Let's say you hire me to do something, or you hire anyone. They're going to deliver this insane like solution with all these complicated formulas. They're going to hand it to you, and you're going to break it. You're not going to know how to use it. You're going to need support a year from now, and you won't be able to remember who built it or where you called them. So I found it much more effective to just show you the functions you need so you can be like self-sufficient. And so that's where my kind of focus is.
Yeah, I get it. I understand. Well, what about affiliate? Now we're going down a different rabbit hole. What about affiliates? Do you have affiliate revenue in any way or no?
Yeah, we have affiliate program. And so what happens is if you sign up to be an affiliate, you get onto our once a month affiliate like newsletter, which will show you the current promotions for the month. There's social media clips already ready for you just to like one click and add them. There's email copy. And then we rev share anywhere from, 20 to 50% depending on sort of the size of the affiliate.
So meaning if, let's say I want to be an affiliate, for people who are watching, listening to this, I could sign up, be an affiliate for, get 20 to 50% of whatever the revenue is. Now, I think that's what you're saying. So let's say, again, now switching gears a little bit, let's say I want to, how would you do this? Let's say you refer business to an accountant. Do you get revenue from that? If that makes sense? Okay, I get it. I understand. Yeah, you got a good business model. You got a good business model.
Thank you.
What's give me a tidbit, because you've been doing it for 10 years. What's a tidbit that a business owner who wants to make the switch from a non-community, whatever, a plumber, let's say, or I'm sure that you could do it in plumbing too, all the way to what you're doing as far as SaaS and community. What's one piece of advice that you would suggest in that regard?
I would say the most effective asset to have is going to be your email list. So a lot of people try to build their list through social, and for some people that works. But for me, having my own email list of fans and potential students has been an asset that has been the most valuable to me. Second thing is, sometimes you wouldn't need to feel the pressure to build all the courses out in advance. You could sell it now and then build it along the
Build
way.
it.
Yep, I've heard of that. But the main thing is just think long term. Sorry, I'm giving you multiple pieces of advice, but
Please go for it. Go for it.
long term and make your decisions based on that long term vision. So, as an example, I'm evaluating 2 different LMS systems. One is super cheap, but not very flexible or expandable. One is a little bit more expensive, but future proofs me. I'm going with that one, even if it's more expensive right now, because the switch costs later are too extreme. So think long term would be my other kind of advice there.
Yeah. Yeah. You got, so, and I'm going to throw another thing at you, what you really got. So you have the business efficiency, which that should have been done years ago. Back in the day when we started using AI in 18, or really started researching in 2010, no one was into business efficiency and automation. Now everyone's doing it, and you've got that taken care of. Number one. By the way, I would also have it say Excel/AI, but that's a whole nother deal for you. But and then also with your SaaS and community, and it sounds like you're a little bit more into marketing than you're saying you are. You got a really good, very, very interesting thing. I mean, you have the best of all worlds if you really, really think about it. What's kind of the next step for you down the road? Let's say Excel, because Excel, I think, is probably getting a little bit less popular than it used to be because now there's the new AI things. So what's the next thing going forward for you?
Absolutely. The next thing I'm going to build is a new set of courses that talk about things that are like adjacent to, but not Excel. So let's just zoom out. The thing I really teach is efficiency. The first tool that I'm teaching is Excel because a lot of my audience uses it on a daily basis.
Yep.
But there are other tools that are going to help them get even more efficiency. So that's going to be ChatGPT API integration. It's going to be Zapier integration, automated webinars, automated Active Campaign, Airtable, like all of these sort of online systems that can really take you to the next level. So that's the next series of courses and lessons that I'm building.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, totally. Because you need Zapier, Make, Chat, Claude, AWS. All those can all lead to automation. Yes. And as a business, that's what you want more and more. And as a business owner, I want automation. My staff hates me probably because I'm always saying, "Hey, we got to automate." But then again, it's so much more profitable for me. By the way, I'm also going to make mention, even though I'm telling my staff to automate, I'm never going to lay anyone off per se. I want them to be able to go home a little bit earlier because they're not doing everything because they have automated everything. But anyway, I digress. But what I would say is the automation it's the way to go. There's just no doubt about that going forward if you're a business owner,
Oh, for sure. I would say if I didn't have the computers doing all the things that they do, what would my staff look like? And it seems like I would need 100 people to be able to do all the things that the systems are doing for me and in real time. Oh, you just signed up. Let me just now send you an email, and let me send you an email a day after you sign up and 2 days after you sign up. You couldn't even really deliver the service that I deliver with human workers. I don't think.
Yeah. And by the way, again, switching gears, I understand what you're saying about the email list. You got to be able to get the email list first, by the way, but you've got to be doing some other form of marketing, like whatever, Facebook ads. I'm sure you're doing some referral automation, which is cool if you are, but what else are you doing to get in quote leads?
Yeah. So the basic thing that works well is free webinars. And other resources. Okay, so you come to my website because you're doing a Google search on how do you use XL VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP or whatever. So then I have tons of free resources. So it's free PDFs, free classes, free webinars, and then those then get you to, opt in to the weekly Tips XL newsletter. And so there's no pressure and there's no hurry. I nurture you over time by showing you that I can give you Excel knowledge, maybe teach you things that you didn't know, maybe help you get your work done faster to where you're like, I've got some extra time this summer. So yeah, let me maybe think about buying a class from Jeff. So that's my overall strategy. Get people into my world and it's in active campaign. And then I'm just going to give you weekly value, no sales, no pressure. But then when you're ready, I'll be top of mind and, hopefully you'd consider enrolling.
Dude, that's a marketing spin. You've got to have a marketing. I'm not going to believe you that you don't have a marketing dude behind you or girl, because that's marketing. Come on, there's something going on there.
Just call it trial and error, man. I mean, I've been working at this for a while. I've read, lots of books. The one that really helped me with what is my offer was Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
There was a lot of insight there that was just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So that was really helpful for building a compelling offer. And yeah, it's just things I've learned from others and other books along the way. And so I feel like I've gotten into a rhythm though, which is comfortable for me and my personality, which is it's not pushy. It's just kind of, this is what I offer and here's how I think I can help you.
Yeah, because webinars, we're coming out actually. We have our own. We're in beta now with our own webinar software. We call it Vastcast. We've done a bunch of webinars, and we believe them to be such a huge component to do business going forward. Because I think AI is taking over, and there's going to be so many what we call fake heads, AI heads, that no one's going to know what's real or what's not. I think webinars, if you're doing live webinars, even though some of ours are recorded with live inputs, I think those are going to be the way going forward. So, and you're using webinars, I think that's unbelievably smart, because I think people want to communicate with people, and if they don't see them, it's going to be difficult. So I think free webinars or low cost webinars are a real good way to bring in new business and for people to touch, feel, and hear you.
Yeah. And so there's a couple of different sort of webinars that we offer. One is to get you into our prospective students nurture list. So we'll call that a lead magnet if you want to use that term. So we have webinars for that. But then we also have webinars that are designed once you are on our list and you're getting my weekly tips, once a quarter, you'll be invited to a webinar. And that's where it will have a more strong, formal invite to jump into our paid program. And so that's kind of the cycle that we're in there for webinars.
All that stuff free, or is it not free? The stuff you just mentioned.
Webinars are free for participants. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I get you. And they go. That's how they go in your funnel. Then active campaign with Excel keeps on. Yeah, I get you. And then how are you getting people to that to that free webinar?
Yeah, so there's some companies that are involved in. They have big lists of CPAs. Put it this way: there's companies that have lists of CPAs, and so I use I pay them to then contact their list of CPAs. And so that's kind of a big way to get tons of leads pretty quickly. But then also my website is scattered with tons of lead magnets or opt-ins. We partner with a variety of different CPA groups and accounting groups. So there's a whole mixed different, whole bunch of partners regarding that.
Yeah, I got it. Wow. Yeah, one can learn a lot from you. I mean, it's pretty interesting. Well, let's get ready to close up shop. What's one thing we've talked about so many things? What's one thing we've talked about that can add value to a viewer or listener as it relates to your community, Excel, or marketing, or anything else that you have expertise on? Because it sounds like you're an expert in everything.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Thank you. I would say if you're an Excel user and you are not aware of Power Query, that is a feature that you need to investigate like immediately. It's the most revolutionary new feature in Excel that's come out in decades. It came out probably 10 years ago now, but it's just new for a lot of people. So if you're looking for an Excel tip, I would say check out Power Query. If you go to exceluniversity.com/tips, there's a free class. Boom, it's going to show you how to use Power Query, and it's going to really help you get your work done faster.
Free. People like free. Can you repeat that one last time a little bit slower? So if anyone's out there, you're getting a free tip, a free tool here.
Yep. So it's excel-university.com/tips, TIPS.
Awesome. Jeff, the Excel man, you're much more. So really it should be not Jeff, the Excel man /marketing man business automation man / whatever Lenning. So there's a lot behind the curtain. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today, because it's you've added some value.
Hey, this was awesome, Kenner. Thanks so much, man.
To everyone else, hey, once again, this is Kenner French, vastsolutionsgroup.com. You've been watching, listening, hearing, et cetera, the Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Thanks for taking your time. Really appreciate it, you guys. Dude, wow.